Good.
It's fun 2 weeks though.
Yeah.
And I'm coming back.
Yeah. Off next week. I'll see you in 2.
2 weeks, baby.
2 weeks, baby. Yeah. 2 weeks, baby.
Wow.
Yeah. Fuck no, Sam.
Why'd you book him then? He fucking sucks, dude. He's fucking burning boots. He doesn't wear boots.
Of course he doesn't fucking wear boots, Sammy. That's why fucking Shelby hates him too.
I think your name's Samantha or
Who
something.
gives a fuck?
Yeah, honestly. I heard that she might leave him though.
She should leave him.
Yeah.
You know, if I wasn't married, her up, hit her up, hit her up, hit her up.
Sandra. What? Can we show the people the new gear? Oh my God. That new gear. What do you think?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you really ready?
I'm ready. The people are ready. Give the people what they want. Oh. Ooh. Look at this material. I'll show you. New gear. Oh, snap. Nice. Ooh, you went like picture together.
I want it in.
You did it.
All the way right one go? Right one go?
She's right. She's right. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. It's amazing. So we're doing a Q&A, and so here's the Q&A. What's your favorite recipe? One where I'm on my back. 1, 2, 3. I have a place to all of you. What about you in wrestling? What a great question that no one's ever asked before.
It's a great question.
It's very
It's a great pilot for realize. It's 4 in the fucking morning, and that's the best you can come up with. You're sleep deprived, South could come up with a better fucking question than that to ask us.
Where were your
You know,
biggest
You're right. I got this. Dude, you're gonna ask the next question of like, oh, who's your dream opponent? Like, come on. You're in race 2. What are y'all doing? Dream opponent? Like, that's something better. It's not. It's what it says. Like, you might as well ask that.
Why
These are not my knee pads. You don't there's my knee pads.
Who's the funniest member of the locker room? Hard one.
The one that you. QT's funny as fuck.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. So, Martha, your beef with Griff. Hey, Sam, is your body ready?
Oh, fuck, I left the shower.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Cyrus. They were fucking mentioning you. Who? I'm just asking this question. What are you talking about? His name is like Solomon Akash. Well, I'm just asking this question. I'm sorry. All he's asking about is Griff. What? Stop. Sorry. Don't mention him. No, really.
Yeah, the water was off.
It was off. Dude, I'm so sorry. Hey, how'd your phone get down there? This person says, I love you. Can you please follow me? No, we're looking at my dad. No.
I might. You said it's a big face. Remember that?
I'm just kidding. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Green.
Well, that was 16 there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And we are back in Houston, and we are back with
Pamela.
I'm very tired because we left on a road trip.
Here's the thing about Ethan Rivers Sammy. The open road just does something to him. I don't understand why. You just go on and on about conspiracy theories and all this bullshit and nonsense.
Wait, you think I would know the difference from big 7-foot shank to freaking Sinbad?
Luscious land you've never seen before, creatures you've never seen before. You have to escape. And you go home to your box. And find the ice wall. The ice wall.
Where's the ice wall?
They're two different people, look nothing alike.
Is there anyone that thinks copies on this one?
Yes.
Cannot be. Sorry. Cannot be. Have you guys seen me go to our records? There you go. Wow, there it is. Okay, go, we're ready. Come on. You're ready. What? You're ready. Calm down. Get him, Michael. Go.
Okay, so I think it's pretty clear that nothing's going to separate these two. So it is my honor and joy to pronounce you husband and wife. Make it the bride.
Alright, and we are back in Houston once again. Jesus. Congratulations to Elaine and Michael. Those are the people who got married. Man, for a guy that hates taking bumps, I just always happen to find myself always taking bumps. But this will be my last video until after full gear. It'll be myself versus Matt Hardy in the Elite Deletion match. There's only been a few deletion matches, and after Saturday I can add my list onto a few names that have said they've done one. And first one in AEW, so we can add that onto my list of firsts here in AEW. Make sure about the pay-per-view, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to tune into AEW Dark later today, and you'll see myself versus Lee Johnson. I really like that match, and Lee Johnson is very good, and I'm sure him and I are going to battle many times throughout the years. So watch the first one later today, and I will see you guys in the next one. I've been talking forever, so I'm going to end this now. Goodbye.
tremendous night of action here on AEW Dark. I'm Excalibur, joined by the Z-Man Suplex Machine, Taz, and Olympic bronze medalist Anthony Ogogo. Anthony, we've got a tremendous night of action in store for folks.
Yeah, a great night of action, some big guys and some big wins. I'm excited to be here, guys.
What I'm excited about is absolute Ricky Strong, smoothly grappling in this edition of Dark. It's awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
He'll be grappling, folks.
Yes.
Right here tonight on AEW Starks. Let's not...
Today, I'm going to share with you 3 progressively more stories, and at the end of each of them, I'm going to share with you the video and the fantasy associated with it. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in sword format, then you come to the right channel because that's all I do, and I have to 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please offer to make the like button a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but employ a 6-to-1 peanut butter to jelly ratio. Also, please subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. Alright, let's get into today's story. One day, when she was picking up her kids' toys in the backyard, she noticed something strange in the back door. She thought maybe one of the kids had taken a paint and slapped it across the back door, or perhaps it was even mud. But then she walked up to the door itself, and you can tell that there were 2 very deep gouges in the door right next to the locking mechanism. Also, in the key portion of the lock, a bunch of scratches all over. Initially, she thought maybe these had been here the whole time, and I just hadn't noticed them until now. But when she looked at the 2 gouge marks on the door, they looked fresh. Since she did not own a dog and didn't know any of the dogs in the area that had property that could have scratched up the door, she figured, okay, it's got to be my kids. So she calls her kids outside and she points at the marks on the door, and the kids swear they didn't do it. And they say, I don't remember ever seeing that. That's new. At this point, Lisa has this sinking feeling that someone must have tried to break into her house. But she doesn't want to scare her kids. She tells them to go back in the house. They go inside, and she's standing in front of the door, and she's just looking at the marks, thinking, like, what do I do? And she notices in the bushes right next to the door, there's something silver sitting in the book. She bent down and picked up a wire that she immediately recognized as a windshield wiper insert, because she had recently had to replace her windshield wipers because one of the inserts was missing. She also noticed this wire that was very rigid had been bent up at the end like a hook. And it was at this point that Lisa went from maybe someone's trying to break in to definitely someone just tried to break in. They're using the wire from my windshield to try to defeat the law. Lisa didn't make much money, but with the money she did have, she went out and got the most expensive, sophisticated surveillance camera that she could put on the back of her house to monitor that back door. And in addition to the camera, starting that night, Lisa began compulsively checking every door, every lock, every window, everything that could secure the house. She would check 3, 4, 5 times before going to bed every single night. And then the next morning, she would get up and she would review the footage from the night before. And for the next several weeks, no one tried to break into her house. There was no suspicious activity recorded on the camera. Everything was normal. Until Monday, July 13th, when she woke up and noticed her back gate, not her door, but the gate leading into her yard, was slightly open. Now, because she was obsessively checking every door, every window, every box, that included that gate. Meaning the night before, she had triple checked that that gate was shut and locked. So for it to be open right now meant something had happened the night before. And so without even going outside, she looked right to a security camera footage. She would say that what she saw made her physically ill. Earlier that morning at 1:15 a.m., an unknown man wearing a rain jacket and gloves walks up to the back of their house and puts his hands in his face right up against the window and starts looking in the window. And then he steps back, pulls a flashlight out, and starts looking in the kitchen with his flashlight. He's brazenly looking in the house. And at some point, he puts the flashlight down, and looks up and clearly notices the camera that she has installed. He looks at it for a minute and then just kind of shrugs and goes right back to shining his light at the kitchen before going around to the door itself and trying the door and pitching the door to open it. It's locked. He goes to the window, tries to open the window, it's locked, and he make his way down the side of the house, trying to open all of the windows until walking around to the back side of the house where there wasn't a camera. And then when he couldn't open any of the windows or doors because he was so diligent on locking everything, he must have just given up and left. Lisa's horrified. She gets in touch with police. She shows them the footage. But unfortunately, his face was kind of obscured in the video. And so they were never able to identify him. Here are the highlights of Lisa's security. On September 8, 2017, 19-year-old Kanika Jenkins, along with her 3 friends, were driving to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Chicago, Illinois. It was a Friday night, and the girls had been invited to a big birthday party on the 9th floor of the hotel. They arrived at the hotel around 11 p.m., and by the time they got up to room 926, the room was packed with their friends, the music was loud, and the drinks were flowing. A few hours into the party, a witness would tell police that when they went up to give Kanika a hug, she could barely stand, she was so intoxicated. Another witness said that everybody was out dancing and having a good time. Kanika was sitting on the side of the room, apparently too drunk to even stand up. At about 3 a.m., Kanika and the 3 friends she had showed up with decided it was time to leave the party and head home. So they make their way into the hall, security cameras would pick them up in the hall, they go down to the lobby, and that's when Kanika realized that they were in the party for the hall. The friends were not really as intoxicated as Kanika. Told them to stay in the lobby, they could go back up to the hotel room. Friends go back upstairs, first the room for a few minutes, and finally on the first they have a cell phone, and in a few minutes they go back down to the lobby and continue to come there. Now they assume she must have already left the hotel and created a car for them, but when we got to the car, she wasn't there. So they all pile into the car and they call Kanika's mother and they say, hey, we just left this party and I think but we can't find Kanika and we have her phone and we have her keys, and explain that they had left the party and she lost them and she was down in the lobby and that she wasn't there anymore. And Kanika's mom wanted to know, were you guys drinking? It was clear the friends were a little bit cagey about it. They said, oh no, maybe a drink or two, but I'm sure she's fine, everything's just fine. And Kanika's mom just felt like, there's something off here, it's the middle of the night, you don't know where my daughter is. And so she said she was coming to the hotel and she was going to find Kanika. Kanika's mom arrives at the hotel around 5 a.m. and the first thing she does is she goes and talks to the front desk manager and says, hey, my daughter is here, they're having a party up on the 9th floor, and her friends can't find her, I'm sure she's fine, but would you mind using the security footage to show us where she went? Because we don't know if she left the hotel or if she's still here, would you mind showing us the footage? And the hotel was totally unhelpful. They were like, well, we can't show it to you unless there's an official missing person report, which, by the way, is a complete application. That's not true. They could have showed it to you if you wanted. And so they told her, sorry, you didn't file a missing person. And so obviously, Kanika's mother is very frustrated and she just wants to find her daughter. So she leaves the hotel and she calls the police. And she asks them, can you please come down to this hotel and get them to show us the security footage if you can't find your daughter. The police were willing to help, but they viewed this as, your daughter was at a party, she's probably with a friend somewhere, she's bound to show up, she probably went to another room, and they advised her that she should just wait a couple of hours, see if your daughter turns up, and if she doesn't, call us back. Kanika's mom is now doubly frustrated because no one is going to help her, and so she decides that she's going to search for her daughter on her own. And so she went back into the hotel and she was up to the 9th floor and she begins going room to room, knocking on every single door and seeing if Kanika is inside or if anybody knows anything about Kanika. And so for hours, her mom goes room by room, floor by floor, and is getting nowhere until at 1:15 p.m., this is now 10 hours after Kanika left the party and vanished, the hotel finds out Kanika's mom is going door to door and call the police on her and say she needs to leave, she's trespassing now. Police show up to deal with Kanika's mother, who sees the police and says, can you please just ask them to show you the security footage? My daughter's been missing for 10 hours now. I have her phone, I can't get in touch with her, and the police say, okay, fine. Go to the front desk, they say, show us the security footage. They show them the footage, but it's just the exits of the hotel. And they see Kanika going inside, but they don't see anybody leaving. And I guess that was enough for the police and the hotel. They said, hey, we did our job. She apparently is still in the hotel somewhere, but we can't help you anymore. And no one looked anymore at the footage. And so Kanika's mom is once again now not even allowed to be in the hotel, and no one's reviewing the footage. And so she's got nothing she can do. Police would go back, though, that night at 10 p.m., so 17 hours after Kanika was missing, to review the footage again. And they start sifting through other footage beyond just the exits. And they discover Kanika stumbling through the hotel at 3:20 in the morning. She leaves the lobby and makes her way downstairs to the basement. She walks down the hall and can barely stand, and then goes to the kitchen. And then when she's in the kitchen, she kind of stumbles through the kitchen and vanishes out of sight. When the police are not able to see Kanika on any other vehicle after she goes into the kitchen, they decide to just go down to the kitchen and look for her in there. And so at 12:48 a.m. on Sunday now, this is almost 24 hours after she's gone missing, they discover Kanika. She had stumbled into a walk-in freezer that was left open for reasons we don't know, and then once inside, she accidentally shut the door. But she was too drunk to open it up again, and she froze to death. Although Kanika's death was ultimately ruled an accident, one could make the case that had the hotel allowed Kanika's mother to review the footage just 2 hours after Kanika was missing, perhaps she would have found the footage that led her to the kitchen if it had gone down and found her before she froze to death. But here is the final footage of Kanika stumbling through the hotel before she ultimately landed in the prison. In the early 1970s, a man named Marshall Applebaum was fired from his music teaching job for having an inappropriate relationship with a male student. Shortly after, he admitted himself into a psychiatric institution where he met a nurse who worked there named Connie Nellis. Both had a huge interest in biblical prophecy, and Applewhite, after reading Nettles, was convinced they had met in a previous life. Nettles agreed and took it a step further, saying extraterrestrials had come to her and preordained that she would someday meet Applewhite. The two did not have a romantic relationship at all. It was strictly platonic. They bonded over a desire to ascend to a higher level of existence and ultimately reach the kingdom of heaven. Applewhite began calling himself Bo, and Nettles became Pete. Together, they would start an infamous cult known as Heaven's Gate. The premise of Heaven's Gate was that an alien spacecraft, that they simply called an UFO, was going to come to Earth and whisk away Heaven's Gate cult members, elevating them to a new world and a better life that they refer to as Tela, or the evolutionary level above. There was a catch though. Anybody on whenever it got here would be recycled, i.e. destroyed, along with everybody else on Earth, and then at some point a new human population would grow, and another UFO would come, and whoever on that would be saved over and over and over again. That was just how it worked. And Bo and Pete were telling everyone they talked to about Heaven's Gate that we're already in end times. Apparently there were signs that this UFO is going to be here any day. So now is the time to join the cult. And so by 1975, Bo and Pete had recruited 20 people to be a part of their cult, which meant they gave up their families, they gave up their possessions, they basically gave up everything in their life and moved to Colorado to live in hopeful poverty as they waited for this UFO to arrive. For 10 years, cult members waited and waited for this UFO that never showed up. And Bo and Pete are aggressively reminding people that this is the path, we're just going to stay the path. And then Pete unexpectedly died of cancer in 1985, which really screwed things up. In their doctrine, it was destiny that Bo and Pete would get on that UFO and make their way to Tela, the evolutionary level above human. That was their destiny. And now Pete has died on planet Earth. She did not get on the UFO. She did not ascend to Tela. She will not get to Heaven's Gate. Bo was devastated and horribly depressed, and it wasn't really clear what was going to happen to Heaven's Gate. But he composed himself, and he began to tweak his messaging a little bit. Bo began telling his followers that he had in fact ascended to Tell. Yes, she did not get on the UFO. However, the aliens must have given her a signal that if she leaves behind this human body, this mere vessel, you'll still ascend to Tell. Basically, he was preaching to them, if you just end your own life at the right moment, you can go to Tell too. But Bo didn't really know what the right moment was. He didn't know what the trigger was going to be. Until 1995, when astronomers discovered the Hale-Bopp comet was going to be passing by Earth 2 years later in 1997. And Bo saw this as the trigger. The UFO was going to be hiding behind the trail of this comet, and for sure, Pete was riding on that UFO, and as soon as it passes by Earth, we need to ascend. And so fast forward to March 26, 1997, as the Hale-Bopp comet passed by Earth, 39 of the Heaven's Gate cult members, including Bo, they began their journey. Bo told them they would be exiting the Earth in 3 groups. And so on March 26th, Group 1 entered their San Diego mansion and consumed applesauce mixed with barbiturates, followed it up with a whole bunch of vodka, and then put a bag over their head and continued to death. Then on March 27th, Group 2 entered the San Diego mansion, knowing full well what they were walking into. They all had specific jobs of how they were going to clean up the mess left from Group 1. They cleaned it up. Then they picked up the Group 1 members and placed them in beds and put a purple cloth over their face before they, Group 2, consumed their own applesauce mixed with barbiturates and put a bag over their head.